What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin here with a new graphic novel review. Today I'm reviewing Infinite Crisis, published by DC Comics, written by Geoff Johns and art by Phil Jimenez. You also got art by George Perez, Ivan Reis, Jerry Ordway, and I guess Andy Landy worked on this? Is he? So yeah, this was the 20th anniversary for Crisis on Infinite Earths back in 2004. They decided, hey, let's do 20th anniversary for the famous Crisis on Infinite Earths by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. This graphic novel goes for 20 US, 22 Canadian. This is older printing. There's a newer printing, which I got this one. And yeah, it's, if you could, it's thing where, like, I read this back in the day. By the way, like, comment, and subscribe. I read this back in the day and enjoyed it, right? I read it, like, now, and, like, well, not now, but, like, you know, last couple days, and boy, did I have, like, rose-colored, not rose-colored glasses, but it was a thing where, like, I was new to comics back at, like, like, not new to comics, but I was new to, like, modern comics. Back in the aughts, because, like, you know, I would read older comics when I first started out, and, you know, you didn't really have the, you know, the ultra violence, the mayhem and deaths, because that's a lot of this is lots of mayhem and death and epic, like, really cool epic moments and really nice splash pages. But it's like, and there's like homages too, but it's like, reading this, it's like, dude, I was like super lost. And I guess, you know, I was just like, because you have this iconic scene where, like, Black Adam kills Psychopart and it's super gory. Like, holy crap, man. Like, the gore is, like, way over the top here. Like, especially this scene, like, where, like, Joker and Lex Luthor kill a guy, which I'm not gonna spoil who. But yeah, so the story for this, which I should get into the story, but the story is basically, the Earth is in chaos after several events happen where, like, where Wonder Woman kills Maxwell Lord. Somebody created, like, nanomachine robots that are hijacking people, that are turning people into Omax, that are going around hunting down superheroes. You have the Spectre has gone crazy and killed the Wizard and defeated Shazam, which is, a lot of this stuff happened in, like, different, like, you know, crossover events leading up to this one, right? To the main one. So you kind of have to read those. And you also have the fake Lex Luthor, which is pretty obvious it was a fake Lex Luthor, they tell you, formed this society of supervillains that are going around hunting superheroes, and they killed the freedom fighters. Which, that was a pretty epic scene. Or here you see them all. Well, I see most of them. And while all this is going on, the survivors of the first Crisis on Infinite Earths, Alexander Luthor, Superboy, Superman, and Lois Lane decide to break out from their prison. So not the prison, they're like little, like, pocket dimension where they're watching things unfold, and decide to help and, like, you know, to help make things better by, like, basically restarting the universe again. And they need, like, you know, Power Girl's help and help of several superheroes, which at first they're just trying to help, right? So yeah, you even see Alexander Luthor help, like, you know, Wonder Woman and the Amazons, which really cool covers by Jim Lee, though I think I like this art better. And lots, if you're a Teen Titans fan from the Geoff Johns era, lots of Teen Titans in this book. The JSA gets some epic scenes. Like there's this iconic scene where Batman leads a team of superheroes to evade this satellite which controls the Omax, and there's a scene with Mr. Terrific, which I think I skipped it, with Mr. Terrific and Black Lightning, and Black Lightning asks him, "What's your superpower?" I got one superpower. I'm invisible to technology. I can't be seen, heard, or recorded by machines. That useful? Today it is. Oh, so that was like an epic scene. But yeah, there's a lot of cool epic scenes. There's a rematch between Superman and Superman and Doomsday. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about without spoiling the book. So if you want to know my rating, it's probably in the description. So yeah, my major problem with the book is that, which didn't bother me at the time, because when I first read this book, I hadn't read Crisis on Infinite Earths. I read Crisis of Infinite Earths for the first time last year. So like 15 years ago or whatever, when I initially read this book, I hadn't read Crisis on Infinite Earths, right? So now I have read Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it's kind of comes off as disrespectful when you take heroes from one story and then you make them villains in your story that's supposed to be an homage to the original story. Sorry, that's the cat opening the door, or the dog, I don't know, one of them. And I don't know if you heard it, but whatever. And I just I feel like that came off as disrespectful. And then there's the thing where, okay, Crisis on Infinite Earths, you could read that book without reading any DC book, right? 80s DC book, right? That story was pretty much self-contained. Here, I felt like I was completely lost, which I know that's my fault. This is a crossover book. But, I did read, back in the day, I did read, stories from this era. That's how I knew, the Lex Luthor in this story was fake. Because I read, Secret Six by Gail Simone. Which was, that was, Lex Luthor, has to secretly form a team of supervillains to get to unravel the mystery of who's impersonating him, right? Which you find out in the book. So, and I was reading JSA, Teen Titans back in the day. I was reading a lot of stuff back in the day, and I don't really remember too much of that. But even then, I feel like I would have still been lost, because Dan DiDio kind of recommends crossover stories to read before reading this, which I can't remember what they were. See if I can find it. Days of Vengeance, The Omac Project, Ron Fonagar War, Villains United. Those are the stories you kind of need to read before reading this. And yeah, I did like the fact that the book did not, unlike with a lot of crossover events nowadays, big crossover events, which Crisis on Infinite Earths started the trend, which is why people hate Crisis on Infinite Earths nowadays. Where you have a big crossover, massive crossover event, and then you reboot everything. Here they didn't reboot everything. There was a soft reboot though, where some of the origin stories did change. But overall, that I thought, okay, that was cool that they didn't reboot everything. Only for Geoff Johns to reboot everything in Flashpoint. Which Flashpoint, again, was a much better crossover event than this, because that was self-contained, where you only needed to read Flashpoint to enjoy Flashpoint. Though it kind of helps if you knew the relationship between Flash and Reverse Flash, because spoiler alert, he turns out to be the big villain in that book. Oh, but yeah, that's my major problem with this book, is that it's kind of you kind of need to. You definitely need to do your homework before reading this book, which I don't like doing homework. Okay, I want to sit back and enjoy, reading this stuff. So yeah, but besides from that, there is some epic scenes in this book. Lots of cameos. The writing, but and it also does the thing in like crossover events where they show you random stuff that doesn't really have much to do with the story, but then like stuff that does sound like important, they kind of skip over that. Like I remember reading Final Crisis and like Aquaman dies, and Aquaman, you don't even get to see Aquaman's death in that. Spoiler alert, but he comes back, but whatever. Not in that book, but years later or whatever. So I enjoyed it, but yeah, it has its problems. So 7 out of 10. It was a good read. It was a fun read. But yeah. And I did like that it has the whole like, it was the like boomer versus zoomer kind of like, story here where it's like, people from an older generation telling newer people, like people from a newer generation, hey, you're like, you guys are immoral, blah blah blah. Like you guys aren't real heroes or whatever. And then like people are like, yeah, you're out of touch, old man. It's like, oh my god. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, the never ending boomer versus zoomer debate. So I enjoyed this graphic novel, but it has its problems. So that's it for this review, guys. I'm going to take a break from doing comic reviews for a little while, maybe a week or so, because I want to do a book review at least once a month. And so yeah, I was going to do a review for the first Chronicles of Narnia books, but I was trying to read that, and it's like, yeah, even though it's super short, it would probably only take me a couple days to read it. I was not into it. I was not into it. So yeah, I'm gonna review a more darker fantasy book, which is like 900 pages long. So that's gonna take me a while to read, but I'm gonna try to finish that quick so we can go back to doing graphic novel reviews. So that's it for this review, guys. Peace out.